That's where I realized that I think I need to start something of my own, right? Because I do understand tech, I do understand sales. I'm bringing business for companies, right? Then why not myself, right? That if I had to do business, I will do it tech, right? I don't want it to do it in any other industry. The best thing about founding a company, if you have a right co-founder, right, it makes things much easier, because they are the people who can sell with you without much of fuel, right? And that's what matters in longer run. So
tech company or any company with partner, choosing your partner, like you said, is a tough task, because things make or break if your co-founders are not right.
Shohel and Prasad came once to Mumbai. We caught up in some shady bar. We sat for some time.
Yeah, typical story, right?
yeah. Skill set and mindset. Why? Because I will say you need the right kind of mindset from all co-founder.
Right.
Because company may or may not make profit from day one.
True.
If you are in this just for the money, then
it doesn't work.
Whenever there is a downtime, right? There's this downturn for a company, I think you will have a lot of rift.
Welcome to another episode of Inspire with me, that's Pratik Pai. I am truly grateful that you're watching this exceptional podcast that is going to inspire and motivate you to start something of your own. That is the whole agenda of this podcast. Our guest for today's podcast is a dynamic young first generation tech entrepreneur. So please welcome Mandar, the dynamic growth engine CEO of Flentas. Flintas is a pioneer in cloud computing services and has provided services to a lot of MNCs and gaming company pioneers. Thanks, Mandar, for joining me on such a short notice. I'm sure your schedule is tight since you're based out of Dubai, but today we're going to have interesting discussions around you and your growth journey in the startup world. So just to start, I want to understand, what inspired you to start your journey to become a tech entrepreneur? Also, what made you take this leap of faith?
So thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I think it's after a long time. I think in this kind of setting, especially after COVID, because during COVID it's all online, and I'm really not an online person, right? I like to be with people, so I enjoy being with the people. So good to be in this setting. So I think I have a technology background, right? I did my BSc IT before my MBA, right? But when I did the BSc IT, I realized that I like technology, but I'm not a geek person, right? Who can sit and code for 12 or 20 hours and still enjoy that life. I realized that after, doing a couple of years of work, right? And then I realized that I still have a passion for technology, but I want to go really bit above and beyond the base delivery layer of technology. And that's when I did my MBA, and I got into sales. I did sales for, I think, at least 5-6 organizations. I switched a lot of roles. And that's where I realized that I think I need to start something of my own, right? Because I do understand tech, I do understand sales. I'm bringing business for companies, right? Then why not myself, right?
True.
And the important thing that I always thought that if I had to do business, I will do it tech, right? I don't want it to do it in any other industry. And fortunately, I think all of three of us, right? Me, Shohel, and Prasad, right? We knew each other. We worked together, and we had a skills which are complementing each other. We had a trust in each other, because the best thing about founding a company, if you have a right co-founder, right, it makes things much easier, because they are the people who can sell with you without much of fuel, right? And that's what matters in longer run. So I think we had very humble beginning. We started in small 2 BHK in Pune, right? And that's where we started. We hired first 3 interns from Sinhagad. Then even to my surprise, 1,000 people applied to the company, which was 1 month old, right?
Wow.
And from those 1,000, we shortlisted 3, and this is the journey till now.
Great. Mandar, to my surprise, even those facts were unknown to me. I know you personally for almost 6-7 years, but all these things were not really known to me. Just for my understanding, starting a company, tech company or any company with partner, choosing your partner, like you said, is a tough task, because things make or break if
Yeah.
your co-founders are not right. How and where did you meet your partners, and how did things start eventually? I mean, I would like to know that journey, because that is a lot of question that young aspirants, young entrepreneurs do have, that do should I have a co-founder, do we need
Yeah.
a co-founder, and how essential is the role of a co-founder, and what mentality should they have. So can you touch base on this? What is your thought process on this, that what kind of co-founder should you have, and how did you guys meet?
Yep. So I was very sure, right? Because my skills are onto a business side of the any company, right? And ideally, there are two most important functions for any tech businesses, right? The first is business, and second is technology, right?
Right.
So you need to have these two pillars in place before thinking about anything else, right? And I knew I had one pillar. I need someone who can complement me for second pillar, right? And that's where I think I realized that we have worked together with each other, and we were discussing this for quite a long time, right? It's not that I started discussion and it happened and we started a company, right? We discussed once, like in 2015, then 2016, and then we started realizing that I think there's a lot of things happening we are doing, and if we do it separately, we can still do it much better than we are doing currently, right? And that's where our discussion started fueling much, right? That's where I think Shohel and Prasad came once to Mumbai. We caught up in some shady bar. We sat for some
Typical,
time. Yeah,
typical story, right?
Yeah. Because see,
Chal company banate.
that
Kind
time,
of discussion
that
must
time
have
we had
happened.
no money, right? We all were salaried employees, right? And it's not that we were planning to get funding to have that lavish lifestyle from day one, right? So we had very humble beginning, and we knew that what we wanted to do, and that's where we realized that I think we can gel with each other. I think we have the right mindset to start a company,
The
because
skill set as well.
skill set and mindset. Why?
Both.
Because I will say you need the right kind of mindset from all co-founder,
Right.
because company may or may not make profit from day one.
True.
Right? So if you are in this just for the money, then
it doesn't work.
whenever there is a downtime, right? There's this downturn for a company, I think you will have a lot of rift with each other.
Right. And the reality check comes very soon. Very
soon. The moment you don't have a money to pay the salary, right? And you have to put it from your own pocket, right? All the co-founders should have that, a readiness, that backup, that money on the table, because you cannot generate money from thin air, right? You need to get it from somewhere.
You can bring out anything, but money is something.
Money is something you can't, right? You can bring the skills, you can bring the people, but not money, right?
And being I guess one thing I would like to stress, I think Flentas is a bootstrap company. So there are no funding and there are no investors. We'll touch base on that. But this is one key point, that Flentas has been for the last how many years?
6 years.
So Flentas has been there for the last 6 years. It's a successful, profitable business, and it's been run by 3 young entrepreneurs. So thank you for answering my question. Just one thing I would like to understand: Flentas was rebranded. It was named something else, right? I remember, because earlier it was something else. Now it became Flentas.
Yes.
What was the reason behind it? Any superstitious reason or any? Because you don't have any investor. So what made you change the name?
Yeah, I think it's a long story, right? We had a name called Intelligent earlier.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Intelligent is little bit a complex name to pronounce. That is one thing. Second, I think there are so many companies around, right? When we started a business, on the day one, it doesn't matter, right? What is name? Right?
Until you provide services, you make something of your own.
So when we realize,
you establish yourself as a company. Only name and brand doesn't
matter.
we
realized, and we started talking to a lot of companies, we started meeting a lot of companies with a similar name.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
IntelliSwift, Tele, Info. So that started become little
kind of an issue for you guys, for us, to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, it's a lot of similar companies out there in the market. This is one. Second, one large IT services company had a product in the name of Intelligent. The spelling was different, and the
pronunciation was same.
So tomorrow, right, if we really make it big, we might have issues in
with
terms
the trademarks
and all those things, right? So there are multiple issues overall rebranding that entire name and company, right? And when we decided, right, so we rebranded it in 2019,
just before COVID.
just before COVID,
strong
right?
4 years.
Yeah. So we started doing profitable business. We realized that we can make it a big, we can do this thing. So when we thought that we are in this for a long haul, we decided that it's better to change it sooner than later.
So I do follow you and your page on LinkedIn. You guys are very proactive, and your company page is also flourishing with all the new posts, a lot of activities happening all around. So I just want to understand, you started from zero, you scaled it. Now I just want to understand, how big is your company, what kind of revenues do you do, who are your biggest clients? I believe Ludo King is one of your biggest clients, and I would like to know that story, because Ludo King everybody knows, मतलब हर लोगों के मोबाइल में लूडो किंग होता है. कोविड में तो सब लूडो किंग ही खेल रहे थे, मतलब मुझे जितना याद है, घर वाले दोस्त सब एक दूसरे को सर्वर पे लूडो किंग खेल रहे थे. एंड Flentas is the company who provided cloud computing services for server for Ludo King. So kudos to them. I just want to understand, so how did you guys get Ludo King as your client? And I believe that should be your job, because you are the sales guy for Flintas. So so I would like to know that story.
Okay, it's an interesting story, right? Because it was where early days, right, 2017-18, and we were very small that time, right? Today we have offices in Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Dubai.
Wow.
We have more than 120, 130 team, right? We are helping very large customers, very large startups in Middle East, US, and India as well. So we're helping a couple of large conglomerates like Tata's, Birla's, Godrej of India. We are helping large companies in Middle East like Casbana, Moneyfellows. US, we have a couple of large customers like HP. But it all started with very humble journey, right? So initially we had a lot of small customers. We struggled a lot. We had a lot of bad debts. So we went through all those cycles, till we reached here, right? Coming back to Ludo King, I think it was pretty interesting discussions, right? Because I still remember it was very early days for gaming, 2017-18, right? Because gaming literally boomed after COVID.
True.
Before that, at least for India, gaming was very, very niche, very small number of people, very close industry, right? They don't open up generally to the outsiders. And Ludo King founder, I think Vikash Jaiswal, I think I got in touch with him. So me, AWS, along with Gamation, right? We were discussing and what all things to do, right? And they were using a third-party platform, and they were struggling to scale their game, right? Because game is where you get, traffic once or twice in a day. They know when the spike is, right? It's not throughout. Maybe say after lunch, they will get one spike. Maybe at the night before sleeping, they get another spike, right?
The free time or the me time guy.
Yeah, me time.
Me time is something where the gaming things evolve and you get spiked.
And it's different for different games.
Nice.
Not necessarily if it's for Ludo, it would be same for PUBG. PUBG, it might be in the evening where people get 30 minutes.
Right.
But Ludo, you can play in 10 minutes.
Right.
Right. So it might be different for different games and different genre. So the challenge for them was they're struggling to scale the backend. And I think when we went there, we understood that it's a basically backend problem and it's not an infrastructure problem. Okay. Because if you see AWS in terms of scale, it's successful, right? It's hosting biggest e-commerce in the world.
Just sorry to interrupt you. Just for layman, even for my understanding, what is AWS and what is exactly that you provide and how are you guys related to AWS? Is something we would like to know.
Perfect. So see, any large public cloud company like AWS is an abbreviation for Amazon Web Services. Okay. So it's an entity of Amazon.
Okay.
Ideally, it started as an IT company of Amazon, right?
Okay.
And then they scaled it up to this level. And entire Amazon.com is on AWS.
Wow.
Okay. So it's proven, right? If Amazon.com can scale on AWS, any company can scale.
Right.
So
there's no doubt in
there's no challenge, right? It's all about, is your application capable enough to scale or not? Right? Public cloud it's proven.
Okay.
that's where we come into the picture, because public cloud say, yeah, we have this services, we have this infra. Because see, if you go a decade back, right, the infra was just about your compute and storage. That's it.
Right.
Right. In traditionally, the way people used to buy server, they used to buy storage. That's it. End of story. Some application guy will come and will do the
Coding and
next rest of the things. Cloud changed entire narrative for infra, right? So infra is no more just about compute and storage.
Okay.
They have multiple services,
Okay.
and it's completely pay as you go, right?
Right.
So if you want it today, you buy it. If you don't want it tomorrow, just stop it, and you don't have to pay.
Right.
It's just like renting Ola, Uber. I rented a couple of services for 1 month, and then I just stopped it. So for any company, right, who has a scalable business, so I'm doing one camping today. I know that I will have 1 million users, right? I will scale it up for the 1 million users for that day, and then again I will scale down my infra. Right. So that is beneficial to a lot of startups.
Okay.
And that's why a lot of startups are started on cloud from day one.
Nice.
Right. So imagine you don't have any traffic during 1 or 2 years in COVID, and you just have an inventory worth of $1 million, right? It's just waste of money.
True.
Where you just put it on cloud and you just pay as you go, and then it's done, right? So where our part come in, right? We as a Flentas, right? We have very strong skills on migration, modernization, understanding application, right? Plus understanding infra, and marrying both of them together to make sure that they could scale. Okay. Because your application is not compatible enough, it will not scale.
True.
It will run, but it will not scale. Right. And that's what the challenge was with Ludo as well.
So these guys had users, these guys had market,
Yeah.
but they had the limitation to scale their product on the server. So the users were not finding it easy enough to play smoothly, efficiently. That is what I believe, right?
Yeah. In layman, right, whenever there's a lot of users, for some it be a good experience, some it would be a bad.
Right.
Some it might crash.
So the lag and all those things is something that matters when it comes to gaming per se. So even for PUBG, I believe, like when you say there is a lag time or there is a downtime, so that is something because of the server issue. So when you guys came in and helped Ludo King, what was the difference, and why did they stick with you guys? What is something that Flentas provides that no other company is providing in the market, and why you guys are the pioneers? Yeah. So basically, what we did for them, right? We understood what is the challenge they're facing, right? We didn't just went with the traditional approach and say, if you're struggling, just take a bigger server and I think it will solve your problem, right? It will never solve your problem. You can throw as much infra to the problem, it will just consume it without solving the root cause, right? So we understood what are the challenges, right? We helped them to I can say modernize, re-architect their entire backend on cloud. Okay. And we did it with their team, right? So it was a joint effort from both the teams. But when we completed that entire activity, they went live on AWS. And that time, I think after that, they started scaling much smoothly. So earlier they were using some past platform which has a lot of limitation, no customization. Here we, along with Gamission, we built entire platform for them, which is like infinitely scalable, right? So that time they had like 10-20 million users and they were struggling to scale. Today they have more than 700 million users. So globally, like 70x times you guys help them.
So and they're scaling pretty smoothly on cloud. So that's the power I think we can bring onto the table. Yeah.
Nice. Superb. I mean, all those things are very insightful and very, exciting, because these things are on the back end and we really don't know what really happens behind the game. We just see a game, somebody recommends, download kar liya, khel liya. That is what we do, right? So, but superb to you guys, and more kudos that you guys go upwards and onwards. I just want to understand Flentas, I mean, you started from zero. What is the current revenue are you guys doing per year?
So currently, I think we are not yet in the stage where we want to disclose the numbers, right? Because still we feel we are pretty small, right? Unless you reach a level where you want to start sharing these numbers with outer world and to the public, right? for us at least, it doesn't make sense to put it in the public just for the sake of it. Until I will, like, if you're big enough to felt your presence that yeah, it is a big enough, then I think it would be a right
But
time
you
to
guys
put
are growing
numbers.
year on year. What
We
is
are
the
growing.
CAGR we of doing?
So it depends, right? Initial years we used to grow like 100, 300%
Wow.
because we were small, but now we are target. Last year we grew, I think, around 40 to 50%.
Wow.
We want to grow now
So even
onwards.
post-COVID, you guys are doing 50% CAGR?
No, it was less as per
Beyond,
our
below your
targets.
expectations?
Yeah. It's much below our
Okay.
expectations.
And you're still profitable.
Yeah, we are profitable.
What is your, so coming to that, I mean, in COVID, there were a lot of companies, lot of tech startups, lot of D2C companies who mushroomed up, who ballooned up,
Yeah.
reached to a level where they have they took funding, they took investor
Yeah.
money, and they achieved the unicorn status. What is your view on a unicorn, being a unicorn company? Does it fascinate you? Is that something that drives you? Is that something your vision over the next 5 years, 10 years is? I would want to understand, what is the entrepreneur, as a Mandar, as a CEO of Flentas, what is your vision for your company, and what makes you drive this company so positively?
Yep. So for me, it's a personal view. Unicorn for me is just a fictional character, right?
True. I mean, even if you call me a unicorn, I cannot be, because it's not even an animal, right?
It is not
even a real character.
real animal, right? It's a fictional animal. It is, they have glamorized it to $1 billion company and call it a unicorn. Of course, it's a good thing, right? I will never say that being a unicorn is not good. Of course, any company will strive to be a unicorn, right? But what I believe, right? I recently put some post on LinkedIn, right? And what I think on unicorn, right? So there are two. Unicorn is basically a fictional character, or you can call it a horse with the horn, right?
Right.
And horse consumes a lot of water. Okay. So horse cannot run without water. He will need water.
True.
Okay. Whereas there's another term for a company called camel.
Okay.
Because camel is in desert.
Okay.
Right? It is slower than horse, but it lasts longer than horse.
And doesn't even need large amount of water.
Because it saves the water.
True.
Right?
Okay.
So the companies should have the mix, right? They should understand their business, and they should be prepared for the longer run without external funding. Right? If you have a specific funding, I think you should make sure that first company should chase a profit rather than chasing valuation. And there are different businesses, there are different genres of businesses who can thrive on valuation, thrive on overall business numbers, right? But for any business, right, to be a successful, it has to make a profit.
True.
Right? So even if you are $1 billion company, but if you are not making profit, I think it will still lagging one large pillar. It will not sustain the same way forever, right? To take any large company, they will have to make a profit sooner or later, right? So for me, in this era, right, where the funding is, scarce, the funding winter, what they call it, right? And startup has become a fad, right? Get some idea on the table, put some numbers, put the market value, and say this market value is 100 million. I will just target, say, 10%, and then I will still able to make so much of money just in one city, right? Consider India, it will 20 times, and it would be a unicorn in 2 years, right?
So revenue,
and then you just get the funding from a lot of people, make that
bold claims that will be sustainable, will be profitable in the coming time.
And if you couldn't able to hold on to those claims, right, one day or today or tomorrow or day after that, I think two investors, might be a VCs, might be a large investors, might be a public investors. If it's a public company, you need to show profit, otherwise things will always go downtown some or other, right? So I still believe that I think profit is one of the most important pillar. May not be on a day one, but it will be someday. I think there should be a long-term vision to make a profitable business.
Okay. So धंधा कितना भी बड़ा हो, प्रॉफिटेबल होना चाहिए. बिना प्रॉफिट के, आई गेस इवन इन्वेस्टर्स won't be really keen to
Yeah.
keep you funding, keep the money tap on. And we all know the funding winter is for real,
Yeah.
and things have changed so drastically. And like the one thing that you mentioned, स्टार्टअप करने के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट क्या था लोगों के पास, की आइडिया है, कुछ नंबर लगा दिया, एड्रेसेबल मार्केट क्या है, उसका हम इतना परसेंट मार्केट शेयर अचीव कर सकते, दैट इज व्हाट एवरीथिंग वाज लाइक. यू पुट इट ऑन अ एक्सेल शीट, यू पुट इट ऑन अ पेपर, you and do pitch to an investor. If you get the funding, you do it. So that is what has been happening for the last, I guess, 2-3 years, and now things have changed. Now even businesses have moved to become sustainable. Business have moved how to become profitable. And Nitin Kamath also rightly said that people have taken the total at the time. I mean, total addressable market numbers have been skewed for so bad. I mean, it's more like 50 to 60% numbers have been skewed. I mean, they have the wrong data for what they have been addressing as a total addressable market. So coming to that, I mean, what is the future for Flentas, and where do you see your company in the next 5 years? How big is the market? And how do you think Flentas is going to survive in the coming days? Because things might be evolving, and what difference is something that Flintas provides?
Yep. So I think we worked really hard to create a base, right, where we can handle larger, very complex projects, right, and that's what need a lot of experience, a lot of senior team tier, right, who can deliver the larger projects. And because when you bid for the large project, right, any customer don't want to wait like for next 3 months for you to acquire the talent, and then you will start the project. The moment you get the order, you sign the deal, customer wants to start it immediately. Right. I remember I signed a deal on Saturday and I started a project on Monday, right?
Wow.
Just one holiday in between. So uh, at this stage, I think we want to grow in a much larger way. We want to grow in a lot of international territories. So we are doing a lot of alliances. We are talking to a lot of partners outside India. So that's the reason we opened office in Middle East, right? To cater that entire MENA region, right? We are exploring some alliances in Europe as well. We have a few large customers in US as well. So we are planning to do some really good business in Americas. So that is what we are looking at currently, because still, I think 2 years back, we were completely focused on India because we all were from India, right? And born and brought up in India, it's much easier to business in your hometown, right? The moment you go out of India, you realize the dynamics are different, the culture is different, the way people do business is different, the ethics are different, right? So it takes some time to understand that dynamics. And next few years, we are planning to, do a little more business in international world. From tech perspective, I think we are doing a lot of work in gaming already. So we are launching new product called GameOps, which would be essential for any gaming operations. Okay, so if you're launching a new game, so any game company will need a leaderboards, matchmaking, right?
So like a
plug and play kind of thing, right? So rather than developing every time, we thought we'll develop
have assets
something.
build, and somebody can come, you can just give them the resources.
They will just integrate with our APIs, and I think they can just use it. So that is something we are launching in this year, and I think we are expecting to get a traction India as well as internationally. We are built a pretty good competency on financial services domain, right? So we have helped a lot of FSI companies to migrate and modernize on cloud, because these are the companies have a huge amount of infra, right? Sure. They have to follow a lot of compliances, right? And they cannot go down. Sure. It's money at the end, right? So it's a pretty large and mature industry, right? Unlike gaming. So gaming, if you see the industry one we are focusing, it's completely mature, at least in India.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So, but I recently read somewhere that gaming is still in the nascent stage.
Yeah, it is.
So Nazara Technologies, a lot of big companies have started investing in gaming as a whole. And to my surprise, there have been so many. I mean, even PUBG, I guess, Battleground India is something that was made in India. Which is similar to. So we can deliver the kind of experience what industries like in China or maybe US, these guys have been pivotal role and have been very pioneers in gaming. But now that I see in India, things have emerged differently. There are a lot of different companies who have been doing excellently well.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, even India is a big market for you, and I don't have any doubt that now that you're staying in Dubai. So I just want to understand. I mean, how is your experience for the last I guess
2 years.
3 years
Yeah,
now?
2 3
You're in
years.
Dubai. So what made you choose Dubai? How do you find Dubai? Because I used to stay in Dubai after my engineering. I used to work there. I have worked there for almost like 2 years. For me, it was quite lonely because I had no friends. But and
Yeah,
life can be difficult.
yeah,
I mean,
it
obviously,
is.
you have other benefits. You have no income tax. You get a lot of. I mean, the pay is good. You have a lot of options to spend. But if you don't have any good friend circle, or don't have family, but I believe, yeah. So
Yeah.
I know Shweta also. So Shweta stays with you. How is your life, and how's your work life balance? How do you manage that? Because you guys stay there
Yeah,
alone,
yeah,
and how difficult is it to stay in Dubai
yeah.
outside India?
So I think work-life balance, I don't think so. Any founders in early stage can comment on work-life balance because there's
Only work. There's no life, is
yeah,
it?
yeah, there is no
So
life.
does
Yeah,
Shweta complain on
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Always, always. If you take her interview, you'll get to know.
Sure, I'll do that. Okay.
So, and it's for everyone, right? Because you're building something, right? And if you're building something and you want to make it an empire, right, you need to work really hard. You need to put a lot of time into it initially. Yeah, once it's big, then I think definitely you can take a
You can
back seat.
automate things, and
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
things get
Then
automated.
you can have a lot of people to do a lot of things. But at least in the initial few years, I think it's very tough to have, to call it a work life. You forget balance.
All right. Good note on that. So young entrepreneurs, make sure of this. There's no work-life balance if you're starting off new, and even he's successful for the last 6 years, still is saying that. But coming to that, uh, you are the CEO of Flentas, right? Uh, are you a leader, or are you a boss? And what do you choose? What is your mantra of life for being the top management of the company? What is your role? What do you believe in? Do you believe in leadership, or do you believe in being a boss?
See, I in my entire life never believed in being a boss. Though in a sales you don't get to be a good boss a lot of time because
Yeah.
sales is I will say very difficult job to do. It's highly demotivated job and it's very clear, right? It's black or white.
True.
Not like other profiles where you can do work for 8 hours. Even if you are at the worst of yourself, the productivity would be there for 4 hours.
Okay.
But sales is not like that, right? I'm working for 20 hours. If I don't get the numbers, it's still a zero. It doesn't mean anything for a boss, right? So sales, I think I have seen in my life the worst bosses. So,
Okay. Okay. So that made you be not to be a boss, just be a good leader.
yeah, but be a good leader to show them a way, right? The most difficult task in a sales to understand what is the way ahead. How is the way ahead, right? Because number is the end game. It's not easy to understand how to get that number, right?
True.
Until and unless they don't know how to go. It's like if you want to go from Mumbai to Delhi, you know the ways to do, right? You know you can go by flight, but if I tell you to go to some unknown destination which is not on Google Maps, right?
Okay.
That's where the challenge begins, right? And that's what happened with most of the people, right? They just know that I want to achieve, say, 1 CR, right? But how to achieve? What all methods do I have to achieve, right? Should I go for one big client or 20 small client or mix of it, or how do I approach them? How it will start, right? So showing a way is the most important thing for being a leader. Having a vision is, I think, I will say, very, very important thing because
Having a clear vision,
yeah,
and I think having the team who believes in the vision
yeah,
is something that makes or breaks a company.
yeah. So, but team will believe if you have a clear vision.
Okay.
With most of the entrepreneurs or leaders, right? If they don't have a vision, right? If their vision itself is not clear, why will team believe?
True.
Right? So
Exactly. Your sales job starts when you're hiring an employee.
Yeah.
I read it somewhere. Someone very intelligently said that if you are the CEO or the owner of the company, and if you are the sales guy, your job starts when you're actually hiring the employee, because you're selling them a dream.
Yeah.
Because you know the dream, you believe in the dream, but you want somebody who will believe in the dream with you, and they are actually working for you.
Sure.
So if they don't work hard enough and have that passion for the passion to build the company, make it successful, or achieve anything that they have been assigned. If they're not passionate, things won't work. And uh, I believe in it. So employees are the biggest asset for
Yeah,
any
yeah.
company, and that is what actually makes any company successful. And look at Tata.
Yeah.
These guys have been the pioneers in when they're
True.
treating their employees. They have never laid off. I'm not sure recently if they have done, but as far as I know, they don't really lay off their employees. They take care of their employees so well. But on the other hand, being a boss or being a leader obviously has downsides. You need to control your team. You need to ensure that team is well organized, they are well educated, up to date, upskilled. So
Mm.
those are the ideas. Even these guys, these things you also face. So on a regular basis, do you deal in day to day activities with the company, or how do you manage your day? That is what I would like to understand.
So I think at this stage, I don't go that deep into day-to-day activities, but I'm still involved in, I think, a lot of day-to-day activities.
Okay.
I wish I come out of it and I just focus on the growth and, market and, overall building the engine to grow the overall revenues and numbers. But being an entrepreneur, you will have to be involved in a lot of things, right? I think we have divided with each other, right? That
Okay.
I look after these specific things. My partners look after very specific things, right? And we run the shows pretty much independently, right? So if I get business, we'll do the handover and it will go to a show and then he will do the delivery. He will complete the building process and then it will go into the support model and then Prasad will take it over and he will,
So there are
take it ahead.
SOPs in place
Yeah,
that
SOPs in
makes
place.
things work efficiently
Yeah.
in your company. Superb. The one thing I would like to understand, I mean, was there somebody you idolized in your life that made you choose that you want to start something of your own? What motivated you? What inspired you to be your own boss or start your own company? I would like to know that, because that is something like people are lost when it comes to, or maybe afraid or scared.
Yeah.
So what all feelings did you have when you started your journey, or whom did you idolize that made you, gave you the strength to start this company?
I think I idolize a lot of people. And there are a lot of great people to idolize, right? From a business perspective or from overall personality perspective, aura perspective, right? So I still find people like uh, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Ratan Tata, J.R.D. Tata, Dhirubhai Ambani. All of these guys are
So you don't come
stalwarts.
from a business family, right?
I don't come from a business
So you come
family.
from a middle class,
Typical
mom, dad
middle class.
family.
My entire family is in,
So nobody had that business wala genes
no,
कि भाई धंधा चालू कर दे, ये
no,
इतने पैसे में ऐसा हो जाता है. That is not something that
no.
so great, yeah. I mean, Mandar, it has been really I mean exciting. I'm actually excited that you've done so much and so well in last 6.5 years, 7 years. And I mean, I wish you all the luck. I truly believe that you guys will do well, because you guys have been fantastic. Like I said, I follow you on your LinkedIn, and I know what kind of activities you guys do overall. And going ahead, do you have any small pep talk for our young aspirants, young listeners, that will motivate them and ensure that they also follow you and be like you? So yes, you can give them a very small talk. What do you want?
So I think I say two things, right? When I talk to youngsters, I love talking to youngsters. First of all, because I like the way they think. The energy is awesome. But two important things for youngsters, right? One, I think don't run away from hard work. Okay, for any successful project, business, or anything what you want to do in life, right? Hard work is the base, right? And then I believe 99% hard work, 1% intelligence is 100% success. Okay.
So luck factor is, do you believe
You can call it 1%,
so
but
that
99%
1% is
hard work is very important. And the most important thing, don't shy away, right? Just because you're not able to see the outcomes, don't stop, right? Perseverance is very important. Hard work is very important. Second, uh, people should try to know themselves, right? Knowing yourself is the most important thing, because everyone is gifted, just that few never open their gift. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you should know what is you're passionate about, right? Why I can work for 12, 15 hours because I'm passionate about something. Okay, if you ask Sachin to play football for 12 hours, he may not enjoy, but cricket he will, right? Because he's passionate about it. Right. So the being passionate, you will only know when you will try. Okay, and a lot of people will tell you this, that you should know yourself, you should find your passion. But how to find a passion? The only way, you need to keep trying. Okay, the more you try, the more you will fail, more you will learn, more you will understand, and more you will discover about yourself. Okay, so keep trying new things, don't stop trying new things. And that's what I think kids are good at, young generation would be good at, because they will have a lot of energy to try new things. So never stop from trying new things, even if you see a lot of failures. I think it is a part and parcel of life. So if you follow it, I think definitely you will know yourself, you will know your passion. And as they call, right, either you can have a job, you can have a career, or you can have a calling.
Wow.
Okay, and if you have a calling, and that's where life will change.
Superb. Yeah. Well said. I mean, that's so nicely put by Mandar that calling has to be there so that you can do it passionately. And once you know your passion, things won't stop, and perseverance something
Yeah.
that will come to you if you know that you need to achieve this. So on that note, thanks Manda for coming and having this small short talk with me. uh, Please follow the channel and like and subscribe if you like this content, and thanks for coming in.